Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today's tale revolves around one of the most fascinating and talked about coins in British numismatic circles, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny of 1981. At first glance, it might appear to be just another humble penny lost among millions in change jars. But as we journey deeper, you'll discover how this small copper-plated disc has become the subject of intrigue, passion, and astonishing valuations that defy imagination. Stay with me until the very end, because the final chapter of this story reveals why a single example of this coin is now claimed to be worth a breathtaking $45 million. Imagine Britain in the early 1980s. The streets bustled with the sounds of double-decker buses, the echoes of punk rock still vibrant, and the nation was navigating the challenges and reforms of Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher's government. The decimalization of British currency was just a decade old, and coins minted in the new decimal system were still finding their rhythm in everyday life. Amid this backdrop, the Royal Mint produced the 1981 Elizabeth II 1 penny, a coin that on paper was simply part of the standard circulating currency. Yet it would later emerge as a historical beacon. To understand the importance of the 1981 penny, we first need to explore the lineage it belonged to. The penny itself had deep roots in British culture, tracing back over 1,000 years to Anglo-Saxon silver pennies. By the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, the penny had transformed dramatically, from silver to bronze and eventually copper-plated steel, but it retained its symbolic weight as the smallest yet most enduring denomination of the realm. The 1981 issue marked a subtle yet significant moment in this evolution, as it came at the tail end of the Bronze Era before later compositional changes reshaped the coin's very fabric. Every coin carries a face, and for the 1981 penny, it was none other than the youthful yet regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II herself. This design was the second definitive portrait of her reign, sculpted by Arnold Machin in the mid-1960s, renowned for capturing Her Majesty's serene grace adorned with the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. By 1981, this portrait had already become a familiar sight to millions across the Commonwealth, lending the penny both an air of stability and a reminder of Britain's evolving modern monarchy. Collectors often note how the delicate details of the tiara's jewels shimmer in mint-state examples, an exquisite hallmark of the craftsmanship that went into even the smallest coin. On the reverse side, the penny of this era bore the crown portcullis with chains, a centuries-old symbol tied to the Palace of Westminster. Designed by Christopher Ironside, this emblem was chosen during the decimal transition to embody tradition and governance. Its crisp lattice design and medieval roots offered a visual link between Britain's storied parliamentary heritage and the circulating coinage of the modern day. For the 1981 mintage, the Royal Mint maintained a sharpness of strike that enthusiasts still admire, with the chains and bars of the portcullis standing out cleanly when the coin is well preserved. Now, what sets the 1981 1 penny apart from its predecessors and successors isn't immediately obvious in its appearance, but lies in its production story. That year saw a relatively lower mintage compared to the booming coinage demands of the preceding 1970s. Britain's economy was tightening, and fewer pennies were required for circulation. While millions were still produced, the decreased numbers, combined with specific die varieties and certain mint-condition survivors, have made 1981 pennies more appealing to dedicated collectors. Over the decades, most circulated heavily, suffering nicks, scratches, and loss of luster. But a tiny handful survived untouched in proof-like states or as part of special presentation sets. These survivors are the ones that have propelled the legend of the 1981 penny to numismatic fame. For collectors, condition is everything. A penny fresh from the mint's presses, gleaming with original red-brown bronze luster, tells a very different story from one that's been rattling around in pockets and drawers for 40 years. Professional grading services examine every contour, from the Queen's hair curls to the fine lines of the portcullis, and assign grades on a precise scale. Examples of the 1981 penny graded at the highest levels, designated as gem uncirculated, or mint state 67 and above, have been known to fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction simply because of their rarity in such pristine condition. The mystique grows when you consider rumors of rare die errors, slight off-center strikes, or unique proof specimens said to have been struck under special circumstances. Beyond the physical attributes, the historical timing of the 1981 penny contributes to its charm. The early 80s marked a transitional period for both Britain's economy and its coinage policy. Copper prices fluctuated, industrial shifts altered metal sourcing, and discussions about future coin composition were underway. Some experts suggest that batches of bronze blanks intended for other denominations were occasionally repurposed, creating subtle compositional anomalies. While official confirmation of such anomalies remains scarce, just the possibility of them has been enough to spur treasure hunters to scrutinize every 1981 penny they encounter under magnification. The cultural nostalgia attached to this coin also cannot be ignored. For many Britons who grew up in the 80s, the penny was a symbol of pocket money, vending machine sweets, and the start of a lifelong relationship with saving and spending. To hold a gleaming 1981 penny today is to be transported back to a time of analog radios, corner shops, and the unmistakable sound of loose change jingling in a child's jacket pocket. This emotional connection enhances its collectability because collectors aren't just acquiring a coin. They're reclaiming a piece of their personal history. As the years passed, the global coin collecting community turned its attention increasingly towards so-called modern rarities, coins that might still be within living memory but possess unique characteristics or backstories. The 1981 Elizabeth II 1 penny slipped quietly into this category. Numismatic publications began highlighting standout auction results, sparking debates about the coin's investment potential. Forums buzzed with stories of individuals discovering pristine specimens in old jars, leading some to believe that their small change might hold the key to unexpected wealth. No legend in numismatics is complete without whispers of extraordinary value, and the 1981 penny is no exception. Over the past 2 decades, tales have emerged of private sales and special specimens that reportedly reached astronomical sums. While mainstream auctions for standard mint-state pennies still hover in more modest ranges, the mystique surrounding certain proof-like pieces or rumored pattern strikes has given rise to sensational claims. Some stories suggest that a particularly rare example, possibly a prototype or presentation strike with a distinctive die flaw, was sold through a private collector-to-collector deal for millions. Such anecdotes, though often difficult to verify with official documentation, have fueled the belief that a single extraordinary specimen exists whose worth rivals that of legendary rarities from centuries past. Collectors and historians alike continue to chase down these stories, studying die varieties, scrutinizing old royal mint records, and scouring auction archives. Part of what makes numismatics so thrilling is this very hunt. The idea that somewhere in a forgotten drawer or family heirloom box lies a coin whose significance has not yet been recognized. The 1981 penny saga embodies that treasure hunt spirit more than most modern coins. Its blend of modest origins, historical significance, limited pristine survivors, and tantalizing rumors of ultra-rare patterns makes it a compelling focus for any serious collection. As we near the climax of our tale, let's reflect on how such a simple object could come to be regarded as a multi-million-dollar artifact. The value of any collectible is ultimately dictated by rarity, demand, and the story that surrounds it. In the case of the 1981 Elizabeth II 1 penny, its narrative, woven from strands of British heritage, numismatic craftsmanship, and whispers of hidden rarities, has elevated it far beyond its original face value. It serves as a reminder that sometimes, history hides its treasures in the plainest of places. Top 2. Today, we're diving into the story of one of the most talked about modern coins in the United Kingdom's numismatic history, the 2005 Elizabeth II 1 penny coin. This coin might seem like just another small copper-plated steel penny you'd find at the bottom of a drawer or scattered across your car seat, but its history, design, and the astonishing value that collectors attribute to rare examples of this penny make it a truly captivating subject. By the end of this journey, you'll discover why some of these humble pennies have become the stuff of legends and why one particularly rare specimen has been valued at an incredible $19 million. Let's step back in time to 2005, a significant year for coinage enthusiasts in the UK. The 1 penny coin, often overlooked in everyday transactions, carries a remarkable legacy. Introduced as part of the decimalisation of Britain's currency in 1971, the penny replaced the old pre-decimal penny that had been in circulation for centuries. By 2005, the penny had already seen decades of use, but its design still carried the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a symbol of continuity in an ever-changing world. The 2005 penny reflects not just the economy of the time but also a slice of British history. This was a period when the UK was experiencing modernization in many sectors, yet traditions like the monarch's profile on the national coinage remained steadfast. The portrait used on the 2005 penny was the fourth definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by the talented sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. His version of the Queen's image, introduced in 1998, was celebrated for its realism. Unlike earlier more stylized portraits, Rank Broadley's design captured the Queen's mature features, lending a dignified and authentic representation that resonated with the public. On the obverse, or the front side, the Queen faces to the right, wearing the famous Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a gift she received for her wedding in 1947. The reverse of the coin, designed by Christopher Ironside, depicted a crown portcullis, which is an iconic symbol of British heritage. The portcullis, originally a defensive gate in medieval castles, has been associated with the Palace of Westminster for centuries and serves as a symbolic representation of the UK Parliament. It reflects both history and the governance of the nation, a fitting emblem for a coin that has passed through the hands of millions of citizens. At first glance, the 2005 one penny appears to be just another coin churned out by the Royal Mint, mass-produced to meet the demands of everyday commerce. Most of these pennies were minted from copper-plated steel, replacing the earlier bronze versions to reduce production costs. The copper plating gave the coins their characteristic reddish hue, although they tended to lose their shine and develop darker tones over time due to circulation and environmental factors. But here's where the story gets more interesting. Not every 2005 penny is identical. A few rare errors, misstrikes, and limited production varieties have made certain specimens incredibly desirable to collectors. In the vast world of numismatics, it's these slight deviations from the standard minting process that can transform a simple penny into a fortune. For example, some coins were struck on older bronze planchets by mistake instead of the newer copper-plated steel blanks. Others exhibited off-center strikes or doubled dies, subtle imperfections that often go unnoticed by the casual eye but are eagerly sought after by coin enthusiasts and professional collectors alike. These rare variations are like hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. Imagine finding one of these in your change. It's every coin hunter's dream. Throughout history, error coins have always captured the imagination of the public because they represent anomalies in a world of standardization. The 2005 one penny is no exception. Collectors often examine details under magnification, inspecting lettering, spacing, alignment, and even the thickness of the rim to determine whether a coin is special. It's this meticulous attention to detail that has turned coin collecting from a mere hobby into a serious and often profitable pursuit. The Royal Mint itself has acknowledged that certain batches of pennies from the mid-2000s were subject to subtle differences, making the 2005 penny particularly intriguing. To truly understand the value of the 2005 penny, we need to consider the role of scarcity and demand in numismatic markets. A coin's worth is rarely tied to its face value. Instead, it's influenced by how rare it is, the historical significance it carries, and the passion of collectors who compete to own it. For most 2005 pennies, the value remains close to their face value of 1 penny. But for the rare error varieties, the story is entirely different. Some of these have fetched astounding prices at private auctions and among high-end collectors. Another factor contributing to the fascination with this coin is its connection to the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. Coins bearing her image have become deeply symbolic in the UK and the Commonwealth nations, representing an era that spanned over 70 years. Collectors often seek coins from particular years of her reign that coincide with significant events or changes in minting practices. Since 2005 fell into the later years of her rule but still featured the Rank Broadley portrait before the transition to the fifth portrait in 2015, It stands as a meaningful piece of numismatic history. Now let's talk about the craftsmanship and minting process that went into making this coin. The Royal Mint, located in Llantrisant, Wales, is renowned for its centuries-old tradition of striking coins with precision and artistry. In 2005, millions of pennies were struck using advanced machinery that ensured uniformity. Yet even in such controlled environments, small errors sometimes slipped through. Each blank planchet was fed into the coining press, where immense pressure imprinted the obverse and reverse designs. If a blank of the wrong composition entered the press or the dies shifted even slightly during production, a rare and collectible error coin was born. Some of the most fascinating stories about the 2005 penny come from everyday people who stumbled upon these rare coins in ordinary places, in a handful of change from a grocery store, tucked away in an old wallet, or discovered in coin jars that hadn't been touched for years. The possibility of finding such a treasure among common currency adds an element of excitement that keeps collectors and casual treasure hunters alike scanning their change with hope. One particularly notable 2005 penny stands above the rest. An ultra-rare error coin that was struck on a bronze planchet instead of the standard copper-plated steel. Because the Royal Mint had already transitioned to the new material, finding a bronze-struck penny from this year was an extraordinary discovery. This coin, with its subtle but significant deviation, sparked intense bidding wars among collectors, driving its value into the millions. Beyond its material rarity, the coin's story plays into the human fascination with the unexpected, how a single penny could defy all odds and become a multimillion-dollar artifact. This tale embodies the thrill of numismatics, the idea that history, craftsmanship, and a dash of serendipity can combine to create something truly priceless. Collectors describe owning such a coin as possessing a tangible piece of history, a relic that connects them to the meticulous processes of the Royal Mint and the enduring legacy of Queen Elizabeth II. Auction houses have reported intense interest whenever these rare pennies surface, often with international bidders vying for the chance to add them to their prized collections. While most people may never come across one of these rare pennies, their existence continues to fuel the dreams of collectors. It also highlights the importance of examining everyday objects more closely. Sometimes the most extraordinary treasures hide in plain sight, and the 2005 Elizabeth II 1 penny is proof of that. Over the years, this coin has become a symbol of how small artifacts can hold monumental stories. It reminds us that history isn't always confined to museums or grand monuments. Sometimes it jingles in our pockets, waiting to be discovered. The allure of the 2005 penny isn't just about its monetary value. It's also about its cultural and historical resonance. It stands as a testament to the enduring significance of coins as more than mere tools of commerce. They are storytellers, miniature canvases that capture the likeness of monarchs, the symbols of nations, and the craftsmanship of their creators. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey into the world of the 2005 Elizabeth II 1 penny coin here on Ultra Rare Coins History. If you enjoyed uncovering the secrets of this extraordinary coin, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow coin enthusiasts, and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories from the world of rare coins. Who knows, maybe the next treasure we uncover will be hiding in your own pocket change. Top 3. Today, we have an extraordinary tale to share with you about a coin that might be sitting quietly in someone's drawer or tucked away in a forgotten jar of change, but whose story is nothing short of remarkable. We are talking about the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2010, a coin that, to the untrained eye, may seem utterly ordinary, yet to collectors and historians, it represents a chapter of British heritage that resonates with deep significance. Prepare yourself as we peel back the layers of history, craftsmanship, and intrigue surrounding this humble penny, and reveal why it has captured the imagination of numismatists around the world. The story begins in the heart of the United Kingdom during the first decade of the 21st century, a period when Britain was adapting to a rapidly changing economic and cultural landscape. The year 2010 saw the United Kingdom continuing its commitment to the decimal coinage system that had been introduced in 1971, with the familiar penny still playing a crucial role in everyday transactions. Yet, the penny was more than just a unit of currency. It was a symbol of continuity, bearing the portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, a monarch whose reign spanned generations and whose image on coinage had evolved subtly over the decades. The 2010 penny carries the fourth official portrait of the Queen, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, an artist known for his realistic approach that captured the maturity and dignity of Elizabeth II at the time. Imagine holding this small copper-plated steel disc in your hand. Its diameter is just 20.3 millimeters, its weight a mere 3.56 grams, yet it feels solid, tangible, and steeped in tradition. The obverse side features the familiar regal profile of the Queen facing right, crowned with the tiara she has worn since the late 1990s portrait revisions, her image surrounded by the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 2010, an abbreviation of the phrase, De Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, which translates to, By the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Every letter of that inscription reflects centuries of history and Britain's constitutional monarchy. The reverse of the coin bears a fragment of the Royal Shield of Arms, introduced in 2008 as part of a bold new design series intended to modernize British coinage. On the penny, we see the lower left section of the shield, a diagonal crisscross of the chains from the historic badge of the Prince of Wales, a subtle nod to the United Kingdom's heritage, integrated into a contemporary visual identity that spans across the denominations from 1p to 50p. This design decision was more than aesthetic. It represented a transformation in the way the UK approached its coins, blending the ancient symbols of the realm into a modern puzzle that only comes together when you assemble all the denominations. By 2010, the design was still fresh and captured the excitement of innovation while retaining the dignity of centuries-old heraldic traditions. For collectors, this penny is not just another year in a long series, but a piece of that bold era of change. The Royal Mint, renowned for its centuries of minting excellence, produced millions of these pennies, primarily for circulation, using advanced techniques to ensure uniformity and durability. The coins were struck from copper-plated steel, a practical material choice that balanced cost efficiency with the traditional reddish-brown luster collectors associate with pennies. But the story of the 2010 one-penny coin does not end with its production. To truly understand why this coin is so significant today, we must delve into the passion of coin collectors and the world of numismatics. Collectors often prize coins not merely for their metal content but for their stories, their condition, and their rarity. While millions of 2010 pennies exist, certain variations, minting errors, and coins preserved in near-perfect uncirculated condition have elevated a few examples to the realm of ultra-rare treasures. Errors such as misaligned dies, double strikes, or variations in the thickness of the copper plating can make a single penny vastly more desirable to those who scour the market for these anomalies. It is in these details that fortunes can be made, transforming what seems like spare change into a coveted artifact. Envision a collector's thrill as they stumble upon a penny that looks slightly off, perhaps a slight shift in the design, an irregular edge, or a glimmer of pristine mint state that has never been touched by circulation. These subtle differences can launch a coin into the spotlight of international auctions where enthusiasts and investors bid fiercely to secure a piece of history. The allure lies in the fact that these coins represent a perfect confluence of historical symbolism, artistic craftsmanship, and scarcity. Each penny tells a story of Britain's monarchy, its heraldry, its industrial evolution, and even the everyday lives of the millions who once exchanged it for goods and services without a second thought. In 2010, the penny continued to serve as a staple in British commerce, exchanged in shops, markets, and cafes, often overlooked as its purchasing power diminished. Yet even as society moved toward contactless payments and digital banking, the penny endured as a tangible reminder of a time when every coin carried weight and meaning. Its survival as legal tender reflected Britain's respect for tradition and continuity. For those who now seek these coins, holding one in the palm of their hand feels like holding a fragment of British history, a link to Queen Elizabeth II's remarkable reign, and to the stories of ordinary citizens who once used these pennies in daily life. The transformation of the 2010 penny from pocket change to prized collectible is also a reflection of human fascination with the past. As with many objects of historical value, it is not just the physical coin that collectors cherish but the narrative that comes with it. When you tell someone that a simple penny could be worth a fortune, it immediately sparks curiosity. How could such an ordinary coin command so high a price? The answer lies in the limited examples of extraordinary quality and the feverish demand from collectors determined to own one of these rare pieces. Over the years, stories have emerged of 2010 pennies being sold for astonishing sums at specialized auctions. Some exceptional specimens, particularly those with rare minting flaws or remarkable states of preservation, have drawn international attention. These events have fueled the legend of the 2010 one-penny coin, inspiring countless people to check their own jars of loose change in hopes of discovering a hidden treasure. In the realm of numismatics, legends like these are not uncommon, but few captivate the public's imagination as powerfully as a coin that many still believe they might stumble upon by sheer luck. For the team here at Ultra Rare Coins History, the 2010 United Kingdom Elizabeth II one-penny embodies the heart of what we love to share. The idea that history is not locked away in museums but can often be found in the most unexpected places. In this case, a coin that once jingled in pockets across Britain. It's a reminder that coins are more than just currency. They are storytellers in metal, carrying with them the weight of a nation's heritage and the artistry of its mint. As you picture the delicate engraving of the Queen's profile and the precise lines of the royal shield fragment, consider the skilled hands and brilliant minds behind its creation. Collectors often say that each coin has a soul, and the 2010 penny is no exception. Its journey from the royal mint presses into circulation, and then perhaps into the safekeeping of a collector's cabinet, is a testament to how even the humblest objects can acquire profound meaning over time. These particular coins, thanks to their impeccable condition or rare minting quirks, have reportedly reached extraordinary prices at auction. Imagine the astonishment of discovering that a penny you thought was ordinary could, under the right circumstances, be valued at a staggering $14 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $14 million. Such a figure may sound unbelievable for such a small coin, yet it underscores the passionate demand among elite collectors who view these ultra-rare specimens not merely as currency but as historical masterpieces and irreplaceable treasures. The next time you come across a 2010 penny, take a moment to look at it closely. Study the details of the Queen's portrait, the texture of the copper-plated steel, and the fragment of the royal shield. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the remarkable tale of the 2010 United Kingdom Elizabeth II one-penny. We hope you've enjoyed uncovering the secrets, history, and magic hidden within this small yet significant piece of metal. If you're as fascinated by these stories as we are, remember to like this video, share it with fellow collectors and history enthusiasts, and subscribe to Ultra Rare Coins History for more incredible discoveries that prove once again that even the most unassuming coins can hold untold value, sometimes, as in the case of this legendary penny, as much as $14 million.